Police.
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 警察
The police officer patrolled the neighborhood.
The police officer patrolled the neighborhood.
警察在社区巡逻
Officer.
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 官员
The police officer addressed the crowd.
The police officer addressed the crowd.
警察官员对人群讲话
Patrol.
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 巡逻
Officers patrol the streets to ensure safety.
Officers patrol the streets to ensure safety.
警察在街上巡逻以确保安全
Detective.
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 侦探
The detective solved the mystery.
The detective solved the mystery.
侦探解开了谜团
Investigation.
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 调查
The police conducted an investigation into the crime.
The police conducted an investigation into the crime.
警察进行了对犯罪的调查
Suspect.
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 嫌疑犯
The police identified a suspect in the case.
The police identified a suspect in the case.
警察确定了案件中的嫌疑犯
Arrest.
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 逮捕
The police made an arrest in connection with the robbery.
The police made an arrest in connection with the robbery.
警察逮捕了与抢劫有关的人
Crime.
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 犯罪
The police are working to reduce crime in the city.
The police are working to reduce crime in the city.
警察正在努力减少城市中的犯罪
Evidence.
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 证据
The detective gathered evidence at the crime scene.
The detective gathered evidence at the crime scene.
侦探在犯罪现场收集证据
Witness.
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 证人
The witness provided a statement to the police.
The witness provided a statement to the police.
证人向警察提供了证词
Testify.
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 作证
The witness will testify in court.
The witness will testify in court.
证人将在法庭上作证。
Statement.
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 陈述。
The suspect made a statement to the police.
The suspect made a statement to the police.
嫌疑犯向警察陈述了情况。
Interrogation.
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 审讯。
The police conducted an interrogation of the suspect.
The police conducted an interrogation of the suspect.
警察对嫌疑犯进行了审讯。
Mugshot.
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 嫌疑人照片。
The police took a mugshot of the arrested individual.
The police took a mugshot of the arrested individual.
警察为被捕人员拍摄了嫌疑人照片。
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement.
执法。
Law enforcement agencies work to maintain public order.
Law enforcement agencies work to maintain public order.
执法机构致力于维护公共秩序。
Uniform.
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 制服。
The police officer wore a uniform on duty.
The police officer wore a uniform on duty.
警察官员执勤时穿着制服。
Surveillance.
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 监视。
The police conducted surveillance on the suspect.
The police conducted surveillance on the suspect.
警察对嫌疑犯进行了监视。
Undercover.
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 卧底的。
The undercover agent infiltrated the criminal organization.
The undercover agent infiltrated the criminal organization.
卧底特工渗透到犯罪组织中。
Robbery.
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 抢劫。
The police responded to a report of a bank robbery.
The police responded to a report of a bank robbery.
警察回应了一起银行抢劫的报告。
Burglary.
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 入室盗窃。
The detective investigated a series of burglaries in the neighborhood.
The detective investigated a series of burglaries in the neighborhood.
侦探调查了社区内一系列入室盗窃案。
Traffic stop.
Traffic stop.
Traffic stop.
Traffic stop.
交通检查。
The police conducted a routine traffic stop.
The police conducted a routine traffic stop.
警察进行了例行交通检查。
Speeding.
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 超速。
The officer issued a ticket for speeding.
The officer issued a ticket for speeding.
检察官员因超速开出了罚单。
DUI, driving under the influence.
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 酒驾。
DUI is a serious offense with severe penalties.
DUI is a serious offense with severe penalties.
酒驾是一种严重的罪行，有严厉的处罚。
Breathalyzer.
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 酒精测试仪。
The officer used a breathalyzer to check for alcohol consumption.
The officer used a breathalyzer to check for alcohol consumption.
警察使用酒精测试仪检查是否有饮酒。
Domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
家庭暴力。
The police intervened in a case of domestic violence.
The police intervened in a case of domestic violence.
警察介入了一起家庭暴力案件。
Emergency.
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 紧急情况。
The police responded to the emergency quickly.
The police responded to the emergency quickly.
警察迅速应对了紧急情况。
Hostage.
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 人质。
The SWAT team rescued the hostages from the building.
The SWAT team rescued the hostages from the building.
特警队从建筑物中解救出人质。
Crisis negotiation.
Crisis negotiation.
Crisis negotiation.
Crisis negotiation.
危机谈判。
Crisis negotiation is a skill used in hostage situations.
Crisis negotiation is a skill used in hostage situations.
危机谈判是在人质情况下使用的一种技能。
SWAT team.
SWAT team.
SWAT team.
SWAT team.
特警队。
The SWAT team is trained for high-risk situations.
The SWAT team is trained for high-risk situations.
特警队接受过高风险情况的培训。
K9 unit.
K9 unit.
K9 unit.
K9 unit.
犬类部队。
The K9 unit assists in searching for drugs and explosives.
The K-9 unit assists in searching for drugs and explosives.
犬类部队协助搜查毒品和爆炸物。
Riot.
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 暴乱。
The police were called in to control the riot.
The police were called in to control the riot.
警察被调来控制暴乱。
Crowd control.
Crowd control.
Crowd control.
Crowd control.
群众控制。
Officers are trained in crowd control techniques.
Officers are trained in crowd control techniques.
警察接受了群众控制技巧的培训。
Public safety.
Public safety.
Public safety.
Public safety.
公共安全。
The police prioritize public safety in their operations.
The police prioritize public safety in their operations.
警察在行动中优先考虑公共安全。
Body camera.
Body camera.
Body camera.
Body camera.
身体摄像头。
Many police officers wear body cameras to record interactions.
Many police officers wear body cameras to record interactions.
许多警察佩戴身体摄像头记录互动。
Miranda rights.
Miranda rights.
Miranda rights.
Miranda rights.
米兰达权利。
The officer read the suspect their Miranda rights during the arrest.
The officer read the suspect their Miranda rights during the arrest.
警察在逮捕过程中向嫌疑人宣读了他们的米兰达权利。
Search warrant.
Search warrant.
Search warrant.
Search warrant.
搜索令。
The police obtained a search warrant to enter the premises.
The police obtained a search warrant to enter the premises.
警察获得了搜索令进入场所。
Interpol.
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 国际刑警组织。
Interpol facilitates international police cooperation.
Interpol facilitates international police cooperation.
国际刑警组织促进国际警务合作。
Forensics.
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 司法鉴定。
Forensics plays a crucial role in solving crimes.
Forensics plays a crucial role in solving crimes.
司法鉴定在犯罪解决中起着关键作用。
Cybercrime.
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 网络犯罪。
The police investigate cases of cybercrime.
The police investigate cases of cybercrime.
警察调查网络犯罪案件。
DNA analysis.
DNA analysis.
DNA analysis.
DNA analysis.
DNA 分析。
DNA analysis is used to identify suspects.
DNA analysis is used to identify suspects.
DNA 分析用于识别嫌疑人。
Surveillance camera.
Surveillance camera.
Surveillance camera.
Surveillance camera.
监控摄像头。
Surveillance cameras are installed in public areas for security.
Surveillance cameras are installed in public areas for security.
监控摄像头安装在公共区域以确保安全。
Taser.
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 警用电击器。
The police officer used a taser to subdue the suspect.
The police officer used a taser to subdue the suspect.
警察官员使用了电击器制服嫌疑人。
SWAT vehicle.
SWAT vehicle.
SWAT vehicle.
SWAT vehicle.
特警车辆。
The SWAT team arrived in a heavily armored SWAT vehicle.
The SWAT team arrived in a heavily armored SWAT vehicle.
特警队乘坐一辆重型装甲特警车到达。
Riot gear.
Riot gear.
Riot gear.
Riot gear.
防暴装备。
Officers wear riot gear during protests to protect themselves.
Officers wear riot gear during protests to protect themselves.
警察在抗议活动中穿着防暴装备以保护自己。
Handcuffs.
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 手铐。
The police used handcuffs to restrain the suspect.
The police used handcuffs to restrain the suspect.
警察使用手铐限制嫌疑人。
Counterterrorism.
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 反恐。
Counterterrorism units work to prevent terrorist activities.
Counterterrorism units work to prevent terrorist activities.
反恐单位致力于防止恐怖活动。
Public order.
Public order.
Public order.
Public order.
公共秩序。
Maintaining public order is a key responsibility of the police.
Maintaining public order is a key responsibility of the police.
维护公共秩序是警察的主要责任。
Emergency response.
Emergency response.
Emergency response.
Emergency response.
应急响应。
Police engage in emergency response to address critical situations.
Police engage in emergency response to address critical situations.
警察参与应急响应以应对紧急情况。
Crisis intervention.
Crisis intervention.
Crisis intervention.
Crisis intervention.
危机干预。
Crisis intervention teams handle situations involving mental health crises.
Crisis intervention teams handle situations involving mental health crises.
危机干预团队处理涉及心理健康危机的情况。